Hey everybody, welcome to Space Grand Challenge, another epic interview today with a former Cal Poly student, Sal. Oh my goodness, it's so cool to see you, and welcome to our show and Space Grand Challenge Luna for this year. Super excited. So tell us a little bit about what you did at CCI and what you learned.
Hey Henry, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. It's very interesting being on the other side, not working on TCI at all. Yeah, I'm excited for this competition. So what I did for CCI, I was in the Unity team, um, building the rooms that all the players play. That was a really fun experience. And then something else I did for CCI was before becoming a Unity developer, I was in something called the Cyber to Schools program, which was catered for underrepresented high schools, um, where those students in those schools would be able to get certifications with a lot of different companies so that they would be able to get internships, um, either at the end of high school or during high school or while they went to college.
And do you remember we did 1,000 kids that summer? Me, you, and a couple other Cal Poly kids from Kansas City. And they were middle and high school kids learning Splunk, Cisco, and AWS, and then my social engineering basic cybersecurity course. And what a ride it was, friend. And I still feel very honored that we were able to hit so many young people's hearts and do a great thing. And again, thank you for doing that. So, how did CCI kind of prepare you for the real world job that you got?
So CCI was my first job ever. I
Awesome.
remember it was 2022, I think. And that was the first job I ever had. Had no experience whatsoever. Had nothing on my resume. The only thing I had was like the classes that I had taken at the time. Um, and so I think something that really helped me was the certifications that I was able to get. So since I was teaching those classes for those students on how to get certified with these other companies, I had to be certified myself. So something that CCI did for me was they they facilitated those like trainings, and they paid for certification tests, which was really cool. So I was able to add those, and then from that, I was able to get an internship with Amazon, and then from Amazon, I got Netflix. So yeah, it's like one step for the other, you know.
Yeah, and certs, you had said once, so you have an AWS cert, Splunk cert, Cisco cert. So how is that beneficial to the interviews that you were doing? Did they bring up certs? Did they talk about them?
So for the Amazon internship interview, they did ask me for the certifications that I had, specifically the AWS one. Um, yeah, they really like when you have certifications of that that they like have open for people to get. Um, and I think it's also something that makes you look special on your resume, not just like some other candidate.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's something that people should keep in mind. Trying to be different, trying to be special on the resumes, like maybe the formatting or something, like the words that you use, the things that you have in the resume, the actual content. That's something really important to like making it through the parsing robot of
Yeah.
once you apply. Yeah.
And so why did you choose Netflix? Tell me a little bit about them.
So Netflix, I love Netflix. I remember it was before I was living in El Salvador, before coming to college to California. Um, so I remember the day that it was launched over there.
Oh,
Because before you would have to buy the movies, and that was
hmm.
like 2010, or
Uh-huh.
actually maybe not 2010, maybe a little later than that, maybe 2014. So you would still have to like buy the movies, like the actual CDs, or
Mhm.
you should or you had cable and you would have to like
Yeah.
watch the movies like that. And so I remember Netflix was always like something that me and my dad used to do all the time. Like after my dad came home and after school, we would always watch movies together. Um, and so I was genuinely interested in working for Netflix. I didn't know that it was a very desirable company. I just thought it was cool, and I saw they were applying. There was applications for new grads. I was like, okay, I'll just apply. Um, but yeah, no, Netflix has been awesome so far. The culture here is really nice. Um, they have unlimited PTO, which is like one of the biggest perks for me. As long as you do your job and you do it good, you can take as much PTO as you want.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
Can
and
you
then
tell me about the interview process about
yeah,
leak coding? How was that? And what's leak coding?
okay. So for people that don't know, leak code is kind of like a standard set of questions. There's like thousands of questions in leak code, so you can do like leakcode.com, yeah. And there's like a bunch of questions that range from like difficulty easy to like hard. Um, and so those questions are used in interviews, almost in any company that's gonna hire you for your software. Um, so basically what you would do is you would practice leak code for like a long time, try to
Mhm,
be really good at it, see the patterns,
mhm.
do that do that like consistently, and then you would get good at it. And then once you got to the interviews, you would kind of breeze through them. That was like that's the ideal, right? But the thing is these are hard questions. Like companies when you have an interview, they're really hard. Um so yeah, something I recommend is trying to cater if you say like you have a company that you really want to work for and you know what kind of questions they ask on leak code, then try to target those instead of doing like a broad
Mm.
uh yeah instead of doing like a broad like just every type of question I'll just do it maybe more targeted. But yeah, those questions are very important on how they see if you're fit for the company, and if you have the skills that it takes to like be part of the company.
Yeah, and a lot of it is trying to see how you think,
Yeah,
really. So I
exactly.
was like, how would you attack this problem? And I think they're really interesting. And I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a really cool thing. So
Yeah.
tell me the Learjet story at Netflix. I don't know about that. Tell me about some Learjet you were talking about the other day.
So so Netflix has this private jet that you can take. They have like 4 flights a day from LA, which is our offices are there for our studios. So not that many engineers are there, but there's some engineering over there. And then there's Los Gatos in the Bay Area. So there's a private jet that takes you from LA to LG for free. Like you just book your seat and you're good to go. Like no TSA, no anything. It's like a private hangar on both airports. Like it's in San Jose, SJC, and then in Burbank. Um, and so something else that we have is called an ERG, which are eth- ethnic resource groups. I think they're called. And so I'm part of the Latino ERG. And
Cool.
so the Latino ERG representative sent a message to like all the ERG people. And she said, "Hey, like there's this opportunity to go watch this movie. It's the pre-screening for a movie called what I don't know the name in English. But in Spanish it's La Sociedad de la Nieve,
Mhm.
which is about this like this real life event that happened way back in 1980s, probably 1990s. There's like group of people that went on a plane in the Andes and they crashed and then like had to survive for like 72 days.
There's a rugby team or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah,
rugby
yeah.
team. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Society of the Snow. That's the name in English.
I understand. Okay.
It was a pre-screening for that, and so they had like limited tickets. So I messaged the representative and I was like, hey, I'm interested to go, and then she was like, oh, perfect. Like you have a ticket, and then
No
I
way, that's
remember.
awesome.
Yeah, and it was all the way in LA, and I was like, "Oh man, like I need to buy like a ticket in Southwest." But then I remember that we had like the private jet, and I booked it, and I remember I was in the office when all that happened, and then there was a shuttle, like a little bus that takes you from the office to the hangar, and then I
Wow.
walked to the hangar, and they were like, "Oh, Sal Gutierrez, we're waiting for you," um, and
Like you're
so
the biggest thing, you're a movie star.
yeah, I know it was awesome, and then I got on the plane, and then we took off. It was like an hour flight. Got to Burbank, and then they also had another shuttle waiting for me to
Mhm.
take me back to the LA office because we have another theater there that's private theater. Um, and then it was like an amazing experience because it was it was a pre-screening for the movie, and we got to meet the director, the producer, one of
Wow.
the actors, and then also one of the survivors. And the
Wow. How
survivor is
cool.
Roberto Caneja, I think his name is. It's like the
Uh-huh.
one that goes and walks like for like 12 days to like find
Wow.
help. Yeah.
Wow. Man, I mean, that story is legendary. That is so cool and just awesome. All right. One more quick trip about El Salvador and the high school students that you wrangled. And we're going to show that video at the end of this presentation. But I just want to briefly tell me what you did. And it's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Touching story.
So that goes back to cyber to schools. So I was we were looking for schools that we could go for and try to help with certifications in cyber to schools program. Um, and I always had a really close connection with my teacher from my computer science teacher from back in high school. And
And where are
so
you
this
from?
one day,
Where are you from?
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yeah, yeah. And so, because I graduated high school there, and then I came to college,
Mhm.
directly from high school in El Salvador to California. And so I just emailed her this one time. I was not expecting to like hear back. And then she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's do this." And so we launched the Cyber to Schools program in El Salvador. Um, and yeah, we were able to like work with a lot of students actually. I was pretty impressed. It was like a lot of people wanted to actually be in the program, and it was like an awesome experience. We were able to like teach all about certifications, and then also we were teaching them Python, some Java, some LeetCode questions as well. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then now one of those students is going to Santa Clara University, which
Oh,
is
that's
pretty cool. Like
awesome.
sometimes we hang out. It's
Oh,
really
that's
awesome. Yeah.
how cool is that? And the last part is they played Space Grand Challenge because of you.
Yeah.
And this was the first year we opened it for international students, and El Salvador won the international class. Your team won first place.
I know.
And I'll show that
Really,
video here in a
really
little
made me
bit
proud.
about that. But anyway, well, thank you so much, Sal, for today's great kickback and talk with you. And I really appreciate you coming on for a couple of minutes with us. And it's so cool to meet you and talk with you again. And I'm so proud of all that you've done. And everyone from Cal Poly all the way to the CCI, everyone says thank you, and the students as well. And give them a good shout out and a good luck for today's Space Grand Challenge.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Hola, mi nombre es Sebastián Ortiz.
Yo soy Isabela Portillo.
Yo, Daniela Jerez.
Y yo, Alejandra Jerez.
Formamos parte de un reto que se llama Space Grand Challenge, que consiste en concientizar la cybersecurity, la encripción, los códigos, etc.
Los retos consistían de, se podría decir, escape rooms. En total habían alrededor de 6 cuartos donde había que encontrar diferentes pistas.
Nosotros terminamos completando alrededor de 5 cuartos. Eso nos costó como 7 horas.
Yo me metí y solo ponen la leaderboard en la mitad del reto y sale que vamos ganando y yo solo digo como, hey, vamos ganando, y todos se emocionan y fue súper chido.
Somos los ganadores internacionales del nivel de beginners y la verdad es que no creo que pensábamos que íbamos a llegar tan lejos. Al principio estaba muy complicado.
Creo que la mayoría de nosotros nos metimos solo para ver qué pasa o para divertirnos un poco y no esperábamos ganar honestamente, pero al final, gracias a Dios, terminamos ganando y fue un éxito honestamente.
También cuando nos metimos en la website vimos que los patrocinadores eran empresas bien grandes como Fortinet.
Estaba JPL
y NASA y empresas así asociadas con Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity y obviamente el espacio, que era de satélites también la cosa. Pero súper emocionante.